Welcome to the 8th episode of the Baali Chronicles. Fresh off their meeting with Tracy Graves, our two Baali in attendance for the evening, Preston and Sullivan are out and about throughout the city and getting into all kinds of trouble. Well, let's see what they dig up in the city tonight.
All right, well, that went not bad, and I appreciate you taking that boon on, but this will definitely help all of us.
Yeah, I hope it's worth it because that sucked.
Yes. I caught at least an earful of some of what you were discussing. That had to be a little bit tooth grinding.
I'm usually pretty good. I can, usually bullshit my way through whatever, but like this bitch was just like frozen ice, like just ice queen. Like just, I could not bust through.
I think
anything.
The more we can whittle away at her frozen outside, we could potentially use her. One for knowledge because she's Tremere, and I'll be driving, obviously.
So you guys hop into the car?
Oh yes,
pull out. Okay.
Yeah. Her knowledge into the occult, being who she's with, could benefit us. We just have to be careful because out of everybody else in the city, that is the clan that probably is most dangerous to us. But you can easily, especially with you and Lamont, being able to play up the city politics card due to your Toreador heritage, I think we can keep her distracted enough to not catch on to what we're doing, and to feed her enough bullshit in only semi-important knowledge to never even worry about her trying to look deeper.
Yeah,
I think we can manipulate the situation.
I'd like to keep her at arm's length, man. I don't want to interact with her. I mean, as little as possible.
Fair enough. Then I'll continue our transaction, and then if in the future we need more, we'll play it by ear.
I mean, as promised, since you did say that you would pass stuff along as it comes up, I mean, do that, but I don't really want to get too, I don't know, maybe I'm just traumatized from getting my ass kicked in there, but I think we should be careful.
Fair enough. We'll play it by ear then.
But yeah, minor boon, so it better be worth it.
Oh, we'll be. Learning, are you kidding? Learning this language, we won't need outsource anymore when it comes to Tremere.
Right on.
But this guy probably has ties to many other languages. He knows that has the access to those that could help us along the way as well. So either way, we'll branch out one way or the other, and we will make it worth it, even if this specific transaction doesn't become worth it.
Can I get?
I will manipulate the situation.
Can I get both of you to roll me a wits plus awareness?
Come on, Ray.
You should. It's going to be a difficulty of 2.
What if you don't have an awareness?
Just roll your wits and then nothing else. You do have 2 player dice, though.
Can I steal one of the player dice?
Yes.
Got one.
Yeah. All right. So as you guys are driving down Michigan here, you pull out of the parking garages and onto the main thoroughfare, and start just driving and conversing. You can't quite pinpoint where, but you hear this like reverberating boom. And then a second one, a boom.
Oh no, we didn't have to roll for that.
Boom. You don't know where they are. You can't see them. You just hear them just kind of flow through the air, and then the car shakes just a little bit as you're driving.
The hell is that?
The explosions can happen in sewers. Build up.
Car alarms start going off all over the area, and then you hear sirens.
We'll turn on AM news. We're not going to hear anything for a little bit, but I'll turn it on. Where are we going? I know you said you wanted to do some shit.
I could actually use a bite. We should have had your girl bring a friend.
We can just go get another girl. I know where they're at. We'll go to the same general area and we'll grab somebody else. Or we can go to a different area. Where do you want to go? What do you got a taste for? You want to hit a club?
Yeah, I want to hit a club.
We'll go home and change real quick then.
Yeah.
That's the plan. We'll listen to the radio for a little bit because I know out of game exactly what that fucking was. But we failed the roll. So I'm like, some shit went down. All right.
So as you're driving back further north out of the city proper and more towards where you guys are at, off of Ravenswood and Morse, you hear on the radio that people are being directed to stay away from certain streets, just in the outskirts of the loop, where cars have exploded in the middle of intersections. Three of them, actually.
Streetwise to figure out what's important around those areas.
Sure.
Just to get a general idea, like they're giving street names, but what important business-wise is around?
Yeah. Go ahead and roll your wits and streetwise.
So fucking stupid. It just dawned on me what it was.
I got 2. I'll take that.
2's enough. As you're thinking about it while you're driving, there's nothing really important on those lines, but given where those streets are at, there are 3 of them. There were cars that blew up. Sun asked you to move cars into the middle of an intersection tonight at these intersections, and now they've blown up. So
as we're driving, I'll just go, oh shit. I'll turn to look at it real quick and be like, I'm glad we didn't drive those fucking cars. Remember the other day, Sun asked us to move some cars?
Oh, and he was real evasive about telling us what was in the damn cars.
Oh my god.
Did he try and screw us?
I don't think so. But he definitely is using us as a scapegoat. Like, if it bounces back, this is going to bounce back to us, I bet. Or it would have, had we not used randos, technically.
Well,
let's hope for the best on this one. And I'm driving. I can't use my phone. Text Lamont, warn him.
I'll text Lamont and update him.
All right, you send him a message like, hey, the thing that we were supposed to do, something just happened related to that. Keep your head down. Because, of course, via text, you don't want to get into specifics because of the Second Inquisition and the dangers that come along with that. So you send a vague text message, which we'll get to Nate once he's available. You get a response back that just says, K, in a meeting.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, we're going to go back home and change.
Right.
He needs to go feed. We're going to go clubbing.
You guys make it back to the warehouse loft on the north side. It's about, by the time you get there, maybe 11:30. Traffic wasn't that bad going back. And with the night outside, yeah, there's more people out. And it's not snowing. It's not quite as cold. People are trying to enjoy the evening. You're passing a lot of stuff going on the street. And you pass, really oddly, a bunch of people, like maybe a trio here and there and a couple blocks apart, that are dressed in like these blue velvet robes preaching on street corners. Really weird. Like, doesn't seem to jive with what you normally expect to see. But it is what it is. It's Chicago. Weird shit happens. And you just see like
that is true. 2
sets of 3 people on different corners, a couple blocks away from each other, just seem to be preaching on street corners. Like they actually brought a milk crate out. One dude's standing on top of it, and you see him pontificating and gesturing as he's addressing people.
I'm going to pull over on the side of the road to where there's a lot allotted for parking or like an emergency lane, and I'll turn on the blinkers. So where are we going? And while you're thinking about this, I'm going to roll the window down to see if I can hear what the fuck any of those preachers are preaching about. I'm interested in weird shit, man.
All right, so you park like maybe, well, you get as close as you can, right? You know, to hear them out and also kind of be like in a parking space that you can actually take. Yeah,
oh, yeah.
You throw your fucking your blinkers on, and you're like, all right, so what's going on? And you just roll the window down by hitting the button. As it rolls down, you hear this preacher. Like the best I can say, it's like a Baptist preacher's voice. You know, raging on about how, you know, why you suppress all your needs and your desires when there is a level of understanding and love out there. If only you and you, my brother, and you, my sister, reach out and embrace what you want, what you see in the world, what you desire, and make it yours. Because up above, let me tell you, there are people looking down on all of us that want us to be happy and feel satiated and have all our hungers and all our desires fulfilled. And if you just walk this way, we can introduce you to the path that will lead you to what you want. And that's what you're hearing as you roll down your window.
Am I able to potentially utilize the ability of insight to see if I can delve deeper into the potential meaning the longer I listen? Because, you know, the base the base is God, but he's referring to they, not he or she. There's a couple other things saying we can lead you down the path of goal righteousness or along those lines.
Yeah.
This seems like wordplay to me. It may not be. It seems like it though.
Sure. Yeah, go ahead and let's roll. You want to see if you can parse out what they're saying, like the layers in the subtext that between the words and the verses. All right.
And this is kind of what me and Sean are not necessarily bred at picking out, but this is what we are bred to do for our purpose within the clan.
So this is going to be player's choice because a lot of skills in this case may apply, and I'm willing to take arguments for any of them. First, I'd say wits because you're doing this on the fly. You don't have time to really sit down and analyze what he's saying. You're just trying to do it as you're listening. Wits is going to be your attribute. Now, I would say persuasion because you're trying to basically disassemble the way that they're saying what they're saying to get the deeper meaning. But I would also be open to an academic's role to kind of understand the terms that are being used and some of the wordplay, or awareness to try to decipher the really hidden meaning beneath what they're saying. So
as much as I'd like to go awareness, I think my first lane of attack, just being with the way the character is, would probably be persuasion because that is that's his bread and butter.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, these guys are doing street corner enlightenment, essentially. I'm gonna put your difficulty at a 2.
I only got a 1.
So
I only roll 4 dice though.
What you can pull aside is that
this is not correct. It only rolled 4 dice, and I should have 5.
It rolled 5. Your hunger dice counts as 1.
Yes, it does.
It doesn't add dice, remember, it takes a place of one of your dice.
That's right. Yep.
So, the way this guy is speaking, as you're listening to this street corner preacher and his blue weird cloak pontificate to the masses.
You know what? Before you go on, I can blow willpower to re-roll the failures, correct?
You can roll up to 3 of them, yes.
I will re-roll 3.
Okay.
2 more successes, so 3.
Okay.
And I will mark off my willpower.
There is clearly something going on here behind the scenes. This guy's essentially preaching about enlightenment through pleasure, which kind of gets connected to some things in kindred history in terms of certain religious structures that have been adhered to in the past. So there's a lot of religions that practice this idea of self-indulgence to the point of enlightenment. Kind of in the way of those aesthetic dancers you guys encountered back at the yacht club, where you kind of push yourselves beyond the boundaries of pleasure and pain to reach some sort of a pinnacle of enlightenment. These guys are more preaching, though, about this hedonistic, like satiating everything you need to come to terms with the universe. And it doesn't really ring of kindred, so to speak, but there's definitely this idea that he keeps on hitting on about your desires, your hungers, and your needs can be fulfilled and can bring you to enlightenment through that. So it's definitely being delivered not just to the kind, but to also any kindred passers-by that may wander past their sermons.
And you said they were wearing blue robes, correct?
Yep. These like blue velvet or suede cloaks.
I'll kind of, while he's thinking, I'll just kind of lean over and be like, it's interesting. They're preaching basically like following hedonism to enlightenment.
Hedonism, huh?
Yeah, it seems very like, for lack of a better analogy at this point, it's almost like Satanism or humanism, where you're, fulfilling all your human desires to reach your own enlightenment. This is definitely something that could reach out and touch our kind, potentially. Meaning that this could be just a normal street preachers trying to preach some new shit, but this definitely harkens back to some older, more base, potentially kindred involvement style. I don't know if it would be like the ministry or the other two that we're potentially looking into.
I don't know. I think it's a weird time to be out in this, like, there's multiple groups of them, it looks like.
Right.
It's weird.
And it also could be, again, I hate to keep bringing this up, but they're new here. This could be a Lasombra thing. This could be something brought by them or being influenced by them, at the very least.
Yeah, it could be. So what
There's
do you
just a
want
lot of things that are going on now that weren't before they showed up. That's all. Making me question things.
So what do you want to do?
Maybe look into it further. Now that we know they're here, just another thing to look into.
Did you get like a name of?
There's no names. They're not saying specific names. They're not even referring to God or a he or a she. It's they, your base desires, your just like I said, the humanist, almost Satanist aspect.
They're not saying
following
anything.
your base desires to enlightenment.
They're
Nothing,
not like
nothing that's like potentially masquerade breaking at all.
no, but like they're not saying like organization they're with or church they're with or any
They're
of that.
not.
They're just
You want to go approach one?
yeah,
Maybe
kind
we
of
can get a little more info.
yeah. At the very least, a name of a I don't know, like if you're out here preaching like and going to all this trouble and you're on a milk crate getting all animated trying to like attract people, there's a name of a belief system that you're preaching or a church that you belong to or something.
Give me a second before we go. Just watch them for a couple of minutes. Ray, I'm gonna watch them for normal vampire ticks if they're only, exhaling when they speak and not during breaks. I'm looking for, oddities.
No, so their behavior as a predator of humans, you're used to how your prey reacts and how they behave normally, even when they're doing like weird religious pontification. Like you've seen a State Street preacher before. This is a situation where it's similar. Like these guys are clearly all human. The way they behold themselves, the way that they behave, the way that they breathe. If they're vampires, they're very, very, very good at hiding it being human.
All right.
Can we hear like with the window down or whatever or wherever we are? Can we like clearly hear what they're saying?
Yeah. I think it was while you stepped away, but I actually gave one of their speeches. It's literally about embracing their desires and their hungers and your needs, and through fulfillment of those things, you can reach a higher stage of enlightenment. That there are beings out there that care, that you are satiated, that you are fed, that you are, pleased, and that you have everything you need, and they will look out for you.
Okay. None of that involved like a call to action specifically of like join us or this is our organization or this is the name of our religion. Nothing.
No names, no things tossed out. Clearly, though, that they're on hand to be approached, but they're not doing a hard sell. Right now, it's just preaching on the corner.
Are they holding any like books or pamphlets or anything?
No. You basically see one guy on a milk crate standing up, and then to either side of him, he has two other individuals that are wearing these blue velvety cloaks.
Okay. What type of neighborhood are we in? Or like, are we by our place, or
So
are we?
You guys were headed north, so you're probably just on the other side of Ridleyville. So, not bad neighborhood, more residential again. So it's not like you're seeing this like in the Loop or at the Mag Mile. You're into more residential, and they're doing that on the corners of residential neighborhoods. Main thoroughfares, obviously, but still more residential.
Normally, that type of thing happens during the day, very business centric.
Yeah.
Areas. So let's go check it out.
Let's go up. Let's act a little bit drunk. So Wrigleyville is right over there, which is where I think we should go anyways, for a bite. And let's stop by. Just act like we're a little bit drunk and we're just some asshole drunk guys or whatever, and see what they say to us. See how they react.
That's what we'll do.
All right.
You guys start approaching the car is still double parked. So Sullivan,
we'll have to go park somewhere.
Yeah, Sullivan finds a parking space not that far away, and you guys hop on out and start making your way down the street towards them. You can hear like that again. It's almost like that Baptist preacher is just pontificating this idea of giving into your pleasure and just enjoying yourself and satiating your needs and just addressing your hungers. And as you walk up and you look at him, you guys still have that facade, that blush of health going on, that blush of life that you force through your body, so you're still breathing normally. Although I do need you guys to roll a subterfuge plus manipulation to see if he believes that you are actually drunk as you're portraying yourself.
Can I make an argument for performance?
Yes, you can.
Still want manipulation?
Yes. And let's see what you get, sir.
I got 2.
All right, so Sullivan gets 2 and Preston gets 4. Nice. So both of you are acting the right amount of inebriated to be, one, believable, and two, that you can still be, I guess, understood to have some semblance of a conversation that's coherent and not be too like, I'm falling over drunk, pissing on myself. I don't know what's going on. You guys don't overdo it, but you don't undersell. You're right in a sweet spot. And as you walk up, the guy who's pontificating on the milk crate looks down and goes, two of my brothers. Please tell me you agree with me. And you all, obviously, you enjoy your drink. What can we do for you?
I'm here to embrace my my pleasures. Are there any ladies in your church that are also looking to embrace their pleasures? I see a lot of dudes around here. Where's all the hotties?
My brother, we got two of our church's sons to my left and one to my left and one to my right. And these gentlemen are all about getting taken care of and having their needs seen to. Be it female or male or anywhere else that you want, we can see to that. Now, if you are looking for a place to come worship and let loose your inner hedonist and find that meaning buried deep within your soul, we can make that happen.
Hey, do you have any Molly?
Sounds like a good time to me.
Oh, you looking for the cheap thrill? My son, I don't have that. What I'm looking for from you, though, is more of a spiritual connection, not one induced by chemicals. You understand what I'm saying?
Hey, where's your church? Where's your church? Is it on this block?
Oh, it ain't on this block, but I'll give you a card. We can get something to you to make you come and have a good time and resonate on your spiritual vibration. And you'll see one of the people next to him. He'll actually reach into the cloak and pull out a card and kind of gesture over towards Preston with it.
Oh, yeah. I'll reach out.
Hell yeah, I want to connect on the deeper level. I like the sound of
We're going to connect.
It's got an address on it just north of River North. So right outside where you see all the not clubs, but a lot of the bars and, other hangouts and restaurants of River North. It's just right on the cusp of that, on the edge of that neighborhood. It's a lot there. There's a door number, and there's actually a code to say at the door to get in. It says "Say Bliss" and enter.
All right, yeah, I'm gonna be in. Yeah, all right. Hey, man, this is kind of far away. Do you guys do they validate parking?
My son, parking is not a spiritual concern that I have. However, if you need a place to put your vehicle, I might have a place you can park at a discount for churchgoers.
See, and I'll turn to Jess. See, there's always a catch. This is, you see how there's you can't ever park anywhere. This is one of those parking lot scams, I think, is what's going on here, and they just want to get
I'll grab you
parking
shoulders. Shoulders. Do you understand what they're saying?
Yeah,
we can resonate at a deeper level.
And they're probably going to charge us like $50 to park at a lot that's like 4 miles away from where we want to go.
No, my son.
I want to reach enlightenment.
It's 2 blocks away and it's $10 an hour, which is a steal in this city.
I don't know, I'm any longer than an hour, if you know what I mean, guy.
If you do, we might just comp you.
All right, that's what I like to hear, a discount. All right, man. All right, let's get out of here, man. Let's go. Yeah, I'm gonna come by. We'll see you, and we're gonna park our vehicles.
All right, my son. Have fun parking. I won't be there tonight, but if you go on a Friday, I'll see you.
Friday it is.
John.
All
So
right.
you guys leave the presence of the preacher and his 2 servants and walk back towards the car.
When we get back in the car, I'm just gonna look over to Preston and be like, "Yeah, that wasn't shady."
That was fucking fun, is what that was, right?
No, but this is gonna lead to something. I have a feeling. That did not just pop up out of fucking nowhere.
No. We'll go on Friday. We're gonna go there Friday.
Yeah, most definitely. Lamont's gonna have a blast with this.
So you guys are heading back to the warehouse loft haven.
Yes.
You all get inside.
Well, actually, we're
we were heading to.
We're
a
right
club.
by Wrigley,
We're
right?
Right by Wrigley, where you're gonna go feed.
Yeah, that's the rack. I think I just want to head in there.
Okay.
And a busy bar or a rock club or something, and just.
So, given that's a rack, and this is kind of a cultivated area specifically to allow you to feed more easily and safely, I'll go ahead and have you roll your predator type dice. Your difficulty's only at 2.
I'm not looking to feed because I fed before we came out, and my hunger is not gone up.
Woohoo!
You have your choice of victims. You got a 4 on your hunting roll. So you guys dip in and out of one or two of the bars in the place before Preston finds a solid beat. And it's like a gold rush where you're just seeing victim after potential victim after potential victim. They're alone. They're easy to separate from their friends. It's really, really just, it's a hunter's market right now in the rack. So you approach one. I'm assuming you're just looking to slake that one hunger that kind of crept up on you when you tried to rouse.
Yeah.
So you'll get about a college age gentleman who's a little nervous. It seems like it's probably his first time in a larger city like Chicago. So they're a little out of sorts, and you walk up as his comforting, like, artistic presence with your dark mystery and your finely chiseled features, and you lead this individual astray. You slake your hunger, a very easy, quick session, like out back or in the back of the bar where nobody's really watching. You get your blood with ease for you. This is just such a rush because right now hunting seems just so prime. And as you slake that one hunger, as your fangs retract from their flesh and you feel that rush of warmth and just sheer, like, mind-altering pleasure flow through your body, you lick the wound and you look around and you're like, this town, at least right now, in this place, could be yours for the taking. Anyone here could be yours. Do you stop at just the one?
Yes.
Okay. You steel yourself. You walk away from this easy hunt. And as you're walking out of the bar that you and Sullivan kind of cased for your feeding, Sullivan, you get the sense that when Preston's walking out, he's like man of the world here. People are just watching him, looking at him. You can see when you kind of cast your gaze out among the patrons of the bar, it's such an easy way to feed here. You guys can just have your pick. But Preston has steeled himself and walks towards you and just gives you the nod that he's okay. And you can see his features a little more flush, a little more like pink and full of color than they were just a few moments ago before he fed.
There'll be a slight bit of jealousy, as I too enjoy that flush feeling of false life coursing through my veins. But I will allow him to bask in his glory for the moment as we exit, as far as I'm aware.
It's almost too easy, man.
Man, you're telling me. Preaching to the choir here.
So you guys,
we can get out of here.
Solid.
So you guys start walking towards the car through the cold of the Chicago evening. It's almost midnight now as you guys have stopped to talk to street preachers and now to do a bit of hunting. Get into the vehicle, the SUV. You're fine, but you do see, like, as you walk out, you feel fine. Preston feels great. You know, that afterglow is still just sinking into his body. But as you approach the SUV where you parked it a couple blocks away from the rack, you can see this individual leaning back against it. And it's somebody Preston and Sullivan have seen at court. He's got this, like, really, it's almost irritatingly, like, 90s goatee. And his hair is kind of short cut, but it's got a little bit of strands of hair that's showing over his face. And his features are kind of hard. They're really chiseled, but, like, more bold. And you realize it's fucking Balthazar leaning against your car. And he's wearing a pair of blue jeans, a t-shirt, even though it's like probably only single digits cold outside, and a leather jacket. As you walk, I was like, well. The two of you motherfuckers.
What?
What's going on, buddy?
You don't think I know about what you guys set off tonight?
You got to be more specific. I don't know what you're talking about.
He pushes off from the car and kind of reaches back with one palm and just touches, like, the front fender where he was leaning on, and you see his grip just tighten right on the inside of the wheel well, and you hear that crunch of metal under his hand. As he's like,
my hand. Whoa, hey, buddy! As you can see from the side of my car, it's already broke, man.
Give me one good reason I shouldn't turn your asses into Damien right now for setting up explosions all up and down this fucking streets.
We didn't set off any explosions. We've been busy all night. We haven't been anywhere near any explosions.
I happen to know that you three little, like, your trio of fucktitude were dealing with Sun, and Sun had you do this shit.
We didn't personally do anything.
And we had no idea what it was for.
We were at a museum.
But you don't fucking deny that he set you up to do this shit. So let me guess. You set some minions out to do this shit for you? To handle your dirty work?
Listen, I don't... what
fucking
exactly
stop.
happened?
Listen, clanless, shut the fuck up. I'm talking to him, and he actually points at Preston.
I'll just back up.
Look, man, I'm not I'm not ratting anybody out for anything, and I'm not talking. So if that means that I got to catch a beating, then that's the way that it is. Because I'm not a fucking stool
Ain't a
pigeon.
beating from me, but I'll make you a deal. You do something for me, we keep this between us.
Fuck.
Ray, I'm gonna hit him with sense of sin.
Okay.
All right, all right. Oh, I see how this is gonna go. All right, so your sense of sin is, again, as you know, it is going to be your charisma plus blood sorcery versus his resolve plus composure.
We'll use our last die because I'm hoping to get something that we can use against him later. All right, no whammies, no whammies, no whammies. I'll take 4 fucking successes all day.
Oh, that's pretty good there. Let me see if I have Balthazar's character sheet. I do! All right, so he rolls in defense to your, as you reach down into your blood and your heritage and unleash these dark and twisted secrets your bloodline has learned through the arts of blood sorcery upon him. He'll roll his resolve and composure. We're going to have Balthazar take a bonus dice from the NPC pool because fuck you knowing my secrets, you fucking dirty Baali. So
Yep.
let's get to him rolling. Submit. He's got 1 modifier. So you rolled a 4 and he rolled a 4. Oh, Chad, this is a bump.
I'm
Usually,
gonna re-roll 3 of my dice. I'll take 1 more success. So I have
Fucking
1
A.
success over you.
all right. So he rolled a total of 6. You rolled a total of 7. You re-rolled 3 of those dice. Oh, you can only roll 2 of those dice.
I can only roll 2 of them.
Yeah,
Okay.
we'll take one of your failures away. We're not gonna make you re-roll because
Okay, fair
you
enough.
can only re-roll up to 3 dice that failed non-hunger. And so, since
makes
only
sense.
2 of your non-hunger dice come out of his failures, you can only roll those 2. Balthazar is going to roll a willpower, but he only gets to re-roll 1 of the dice because he had 4 out of 5 of his normal dice as successes.
Sure.
Scheisse. All right, so you got the one above him. When you utilize your power, you reach out to the dark pacts that your ancestors had made in eons before your even consideration as a being had come to be. You connect with Balthazar on a primal level. You feel that rush in your blood as you reach out, and your awareness fades from what is just immediately around you now in this cold February night in Chicago. You find yourself hunched over an individual that you are gripping it by the collar with one rough hand. And this poor ghoul, as you now can understand him to be a ghoul, is limping your grip, and your fist just keeps on hammering directly into their face as you start demanding to know. I want to know what he's done, who he's talked to. Every punch is another like exclamation point to your demands as you have now assumed the position of Balthazar, beating the ever-loving life out of this individual. And he slowly starts to dribble forth as his teeth fall out of his mouth between spittles and spurts of blood that Sun has hired a couple of people to set off explosions in the city. And that's when you come back to the fore, as your sin was just outright, just unrepentant violence against a living
Right,
being.
wrath.
Yep.
Cool.
And you come to. And Balthazar's like, we can make a deal. I don't tell anybody, but you do something for me.
No deal.
No deal.
No deal.
Cool. Well, you're fucked. Hope you're having fun with the city as much as you had while you've been here. Because it's not for me for much fucking longer.
Still probably not as fucked as you.
Kiss my ass, you piece of shit. He just starts walking down the street.
I'll just kind of turn and look. You sure you want to do that? Hey, man,
No.
back to play.
No, but we gotta get the fuck out of here now.
All right, fair enough. We'll get into the vehicle.
Okay. You guys hop back in the SUV. You can see like where he grabbed the wheel well. It's just crushed to shit.
After we get in the car and start driving, I'll just be like, so from what I've gathered, after glimpsing the void a little bit, I think he maybe got a hold of one of Sun's retainers and basically beat him for that information. Somehow he knew that led back to Sun. I had the specific feeling that he was interrogating this person to get info on something.
Yeah. So here's the thing. As far as I'm aware, he's a piece of shit, and nobody in the city really gives a fuck about him. And I'm not going to be a part of him trying to like weasel his way into other people's business to try and rat us out to like raise his standing with people that hate him in the city because he's trying to dig himself out of whatever the fuck hole he's put himself in. So I don't know who he is to like question us or come at us or like request anything. We didn't do anything wrong as far as I'm concerned. We didn't breach the masquerade. We didn't do this ourselves. We covered our ass as far as we know. If he's going to go to Damien and then Damien's going to come at us, and that's just the way, I guess that's just the way that it is. But like, I'm not going to
Fair enough.
be subservient to that fucking Brujah prick.
Like I said, I back to play. Just
so if we get our asses kicked, I take full responsibility, but
it won't be the first time. Won't be the last either.
So the car kicks back up with no issues. Obviously, a little more cosmetic damage to the vehicle that is just going to cost even more to get fixed.
Good thing we're getting $9,000.
Right. But Preston feels sated. You guys had this run-in with Balthazar's angry ass. Where do you go? What do you do?
You want to call Sun? Well, first, where do you want to go? And second, you want to call Sun and let him know Balthazar is on his ass.
Yeah. That's actually a really good idea.
How about you call Sun? Maybe he'll want to meet up.
Yeah, I'm going to call Sun.
So you dial as Sullivan's driving, just kind of right now randomly driving through the grid of streets around Wrigleyville to kind of waste time until he knows where you're going. You get a connection probably in the third ring, and some people are like, hello.
Hey, Jason, it's Preston. How are you, buddy?
It's one of my favorite people. How are you tonight? And by the way, well paid for, great services rendered, no complaints here.
Excellent, excellent. Listen, hey, I just ran into somebody who we both might know, and he's a little bit pissed off.
Oh.
And so, I thought maybe you'd want to get together and talk about that, not over the phone, because it might be a complicated situation. Best explained in person.
Yeah, sure. How about your place?
I was thinking something more public. See, we're in Wrigleyville right now.
Yeah. So, I understand, guys. I get it. Is Sullivan still a little sore that I killed his girlfriend the other night?
Yeah, I mean a little bit maybe. I think it's gonna be okay. I think he's cool, but like, right now I just think that maybe maybe like a bar or something would be.
Yeah, sure. No, we can get together and have a drink. That's not a problem at all.
Yeah, for sure.
Maybe one day though, like you guys can invite me over for like, I don't know, barbecue something.
Yeah, barbecue's great. Yeah, we'd love that. Yeah, ribs and whatever. That'd be awesome. Yeah.
Hey, that's great. What bar are you guys thinking of? You're in Wrigleyville, you said?
Yeah, we're in Wrigleyville. I don't know where you're at right now. I don't know what's convenient for you. I mean, we can meet halfway somewhere. Or...
Well, I'm actually more towards the Institute right now. I'm looking into something, but I can be up there pretty quickly. Like it won't take me that long to meet you guys.
Yeah. Okay, let's maybe a little bit out of the neighborhood, just because like this angry dude might still be around a little bit, and like I don't want that to cause any trouble. So like maybe like Ray, I'll just someplace kind of in the area that's like not in the immediate vicinity.
So you pick like a neighborhood bar that's a little further away from the field, and because to be honest, Chicago has a lot of those corner neighborhood bars that are just tucked away in residential districts. So you just pick one of those. Like you check your map while you're talking, select one. It's basically probably a couple blocks away from the ballpark that's just nestled back in some residential neighborhood, and it's a corner bar. He kind of checks out, like, yeah, sure, no problem. I know where I can find that. I'll meet you there. Let's say half an hour.
That's perfect.
All right. We'll see you then.
All right.
And he'll hang up.
Bye. I'll hang up. All right. Half hour. It's so-and-so.
Yeah. You guys make it to like a bar called the Hole in the Wall, which is just outside of Wrigleyville, on the verge of like, go ahead.
I'll take a roundabout way and kind of go around it a bit and then come back. So that way, if Balthazar is following us, I'll notice a car is following us in a circle back to said Hole in the Wall.
Fair enough. You kind of do your elusive trick to make sure that the angry, redneck Batman's not following you anymore, as Chris has called it. But you make sure Balthazar's not following. You do a couple circuits, and you find the Hole in the Wall. It's just tucked back in a residential area. It's a corner building bar, like, these things are common in the residential neighborhoods up here in Chicago. You find parking not that far down the street. You guys wait for a minute or two, just check the time, and you walk on down, and you make it to the Hole in the Wall, and it's really, like the door itself, you can see like some of the surface of that faux wood is starting to peel off, so it creaks a little bit, and you can hear some of the strips of the wood catch on the concrete, stoop as you pull it open. You walk into this smoke-filled, little crummy like corner bar, and you're not supposed to smoke in bars in the city anymore, but apparently nobody here gives a shit. And the place is just flooded with cigarette smoke and other things, put it that way. Vapes and cannabis is just filling the air. You step into this cloud of smoke, and the first thing that hits you is the smell of stale beer and piss from the bathroom that's in the back. You can smell a little bit of fried, like deep fried stuff, like whatever it may be, either French fries or chicken wings or who the fuck knows what, but that's in the air as well. There's maybe only 3 or 4 people in here, and they're all obviously locals. The bartender just barely looks up at you to acknowledge your presence. You walk in, and she's just kind of like, grab a seat wherever you want, hon. I'll get to you in a bit. And there's 2 people at the bar kind of slumped over their drinks. They're drinking draft beers out of a glass, those frosted type mugs. And you can see further back along the wall in this small little dive bar, there are a couple of booths that you can sit at. Not a lot of people in here. There's like a golden tee, arcade game off in the corner, and a jukebox that's just kind of broken and keeps on playing the same song over and over again.
I'm gonna act like I'm tired. It's been a long night. I'm just ducking someplace low key to kind of get away from all the hustle and bustle and noise of like the main big busy ass bars.
You guys managed to get back. You're putting on your facade of just like fuck today. Today's been shit. The bartender
Clearly we're not getting laid tonight. There's no women with us.
Right.
Yeah.
That type of day.
Jeff, your harem's not here for Sullivan. So you guys are probably sitting down for 10 minutes before the bartender comes by, and it's like, hey, Hans, do you guys want something to drink? What would you like? We got some King Brewery stuff on special tonight.
Perfect. I'll take a glass of the King's Brewery.
All right.
Yeah, all the same.
And this is the bartender. She's probably in her mid 40s or early 50s. She's just run down and tired. Probably the owner here. She seems just like, all right, what do you want? And very nonchalant, like she doesn't give a shit what you want. And she'll mark it down. She's like, all right, no problem. I'll be up in just a minute. And she makes her way back to the bar, comes back, sets down 2 drafts in front of you and 2 glasses. I'm sure you want a tab. Just come in and give me a, $5 a beer. So just pay me when you leave.
All right, that sounds good. Thank you very much.
Yeah, no problem. And she'll just walk back to the bar. Another 5 or so minutes pass, and you'll hear that creak of the door open and that scraping of the wood against the concrete stoop as Son steps in. He's like, oh, hello, ma'am, can I? And she looks over. He's like, my friends are here. Have a good night. She's like, yeah, you too. He kind of makes his way. He saunters on towards the back where you guys are sitting and pulls over a chair. You hear it scrape across the floorboards, and he sits backwards in it and leans on the back of the chair. He's like, all right, so, mean guy. Who was it?
Balthazar.
Fucking Balthazar.
He was pissed.
Oh.
I mean, pissed.
He knew more than he should have.
I don't know how, but he knew what was up and somehow knew we were involved and somehow knew that we did it as a favor to you.
What did he say exactly? Like, well, first off, let's be honest. He doesn't have a lot of leg to stand on socially with the court.
Yeah, that's why I told him to go fuck himself.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah, I told him to fuck off. But he's pissed.
What did he want?
He wanted a favor from me to make a deal with him so that he didn't rat us out to, I think he threatened us with Damien.
Who's he going to rat us? So, first off, nobody's going to believe him.
Right.
And he's not going to talk to Damien because Damien can't stand his ass because Balthazar is a dick because he used to be sheriff and now he's not.
Yeah, he's a piece of shit. The only thing that I'm not really worried about that so much as I'm worried about, like he mentioned your name, like as if you put us up to it. So I wanted to give you a heads up, because we're friends, so that if he comes after you or your people or anything, I don't know. He didn't, he was in a punchy mood and not necessarily in a talky mood, other than threatening us. So
and you guys will see Son's like his entire body tenses a little bit as he looks from
his friends that knew maybe breathers that he could intimidate.
Sun's eyes settle on Sullivan, and when he looks at you, it's not quite comfortable. His eyes are dead inside. And as this sociopath stares into your eyes, he's like, define breathers. Did he say he had hurt somebody that worked for me?
No, but I can say that when looking at him, when he was wagging his big redneck finger at me, I did notice some slight flecks he might have missed, as if he had applied his trade to someone who bleeds.
So you think that he's threatened to hurt somebody or my care? He'll lean back from the seat, and you see his arms kind of fall off the back of the chair, and they cross over his chest. Okay. And his entire demeanor has now gotten far more serious. He's not so much happy-go-lucky as he usually is when he talks to you. This is now a calculating person in front of you. Preston, did you get a read on him outside of anything else?
Desperation. I mean, he reeks of desperation and anything. So, I mean, again, I'm sorry to have dragged you away from whatever you were doing tonight, but he seems like pretty unhinged. And since he mentioned your name, I wanted to warn you in case he decided to do something stupid and like come after you.
Well, he won't come after me because he knows he'd be a dead man if he did. But I was pulled away from Elysium for this. Okay. You three, I know that Lamont's not here. I'm assuming he's off doing other business.
Yeah.
You have been very straightforward with me. You have dealt with me very plainly. You have fulfilled on your end of bargains as I have fulfilled on mine. If this Balthazar thing comes to a head, he's not well respected. Nobody's going to care if he goes missing. Would you and yours be open to assisting me in hunting him down and putting him in a box for a couple of years?
Yeah.
I have a problem with that.
Yeah, I think that would probably, that may be what's best, and just get him out of everybody's hair for a little while.
I think he needs a nap.
Might
And
be time.
if he's touched my property, he has pretty much asked my permission to have a nap. And I intend on granting it. Now, this obviously, much like last time, goes no further than us.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I have 100%.
Good. I'll be in touch. Is there anything else you need?
No,
Just wanted to get you the
that was
info
it.
as soon
Yeah,
as possible.
just wanted to warn you.
I appreciate it. And I'll make sure that once we kind of deal with this unpleasantness, that you are all compensated fairly.
Appreciate that very much.
Very much so.
You see him kind of push himself off the seat, and he kind of grabs the back of the chair, twists it back around proper, and just pushes it up to your guys' table. Gives you both a nod, and starts heading for the door.
I'll just kind of reach down next to you for a 5.
Yeah, low
Yeah,
five.
buddy.
Yeah, that went real well, huh?
Yeah.
So Sun leaves you guys in the hole in the wall bar. You guys have your drinks as you're fake drinking and fake nursing while you're going through this conversation with Sun. What do you guys want to do?
Yeah, and I'll do the thing, like, obviously I don't want to drink the beer because I don't want to go vomit it up. But I'll do the thing where, like,
Right.
you get up and you pick up your mug and like take it into the bathroom with you, and then I'll dump some out in the bathroom, come back out, so it looks like I've drank, and then we will settle up with the bartender.
Yeah, you owe her like $10.
Well, put
We'll
20
throw her
down.
20.
Yeah.
Okay. She thanks you guys very nonchalantly before she lights up a cigarette. It's like, y'all come back anytime you want. I don't
Thanks.
mind some quiet customers.
Thank you.
Excellent. Thanks so much. We'll be back.
You guys
We'll head out.
step back out into the cold, make your way towards the SUV that is awaiting you. You get to it without an issue. It kicks over just fine.
Next stop for the night?
I'm sort of at a block on, I want to look into that, the Bahari Garden that got bulldozed. And I'm trying to figure out if the right thing to do, like if going there would really mean anything or like uncover anything about, like more about that. I mean, if it's been bulldozed, it's probably not there.
Well,
Like they probably don't have any, I don't have
humans-
anybody to like reach out to at this point.
Yeah, you do.
At this
when humans
Yeah,
when
you
humans
have-
do stuff, they leave stuff.
You
so
have
there could be something.
Well, you do have Ryan, right? Your contact in the Bahari. You can always get a hold of him. And remember, this particular cell of the cult is both kindred and mortals commingled.
Yeah. When I talked to him about it, he said that he believed that because of this like symbolism that was left or whatever, that it was vampires that did it.
Yeah, he thinks it's Cainites, 100%. And he sent you the glyph that the Lilians used for Cain. Not that it was found there, but that's like his response to who did this. He sent that glyph.
Yeah.
It wasn't something that was carved in on site. It didn't look like it was. It looked like somebody had written it on paper, and that's when he sent it to you. More than likely, he just wrote it and took a picture and sent it because he didn't want to say the word.
Yeah. So I'm kind of stuck on like where to go from there, because that seems to be like all that he knows. Like if it's vampires that did it, like awesome. Like there's a lot of vampires.
Well,
So, like-
yeah, but also there's other things to consider. Like if you show up knowing the nature of the Bahari and their rights, and have a connection to him clearly as being part of the cult before, that's a lot of questions. Like, where have you been? Why aren't you made yourself known? So I get hesitation on that front. But in terms of like other clues, well, you know that somebody pushed the permits through in a day. Somebody pulled some strings at the permit office and the alderman's office to get it done throughout the day. Somebody had a lot of money on hand to rent the bulldozers and equipment to level the building. That's really all you know right now, without doing anything else, like investigation wise, like either going through county records or trying to backtrack the permits, etc. That's more of a that's a mortal issue. You guys can do that research yourself. That's not an issue at all. You can go through county records and kind of search, because most of those permits are public, unless they're sealed for whatever weird reason. Or you can just go to some of the clerks. If you look up who they are, go to their homes, use some powers on them, try to convince them to tell you who did this, or look at who rented the equipment. Like, there are avenues that you can explore for sure. You can do that either in person or via contacts and trying to gather information. But right now, for the month, you've already blown like your contacts essentially.
Yep.
You kind of utilize them to kind of figure out what happened there and get a snapshot. Now,
yeah, I guess what I'm worried about is like putting it on the back burner for too long and then having it like become something that like escalates or gets worse, and I didn't act quickly enough on it.
well, you do know that the Bahari, being a sect of very much vengeance-driven Cainites, can probably start retaliating against who they think was involved. And much like you guys' first reaction was, it was Ventru, that might be their response as well. Which means, naturally, since there are no Anarch Ventru allowed in the city, they're striking against the Camarilla, which could be fucking bad news for everybody.
Well, I think as a start, the excuse me, the permit route, like in the equipment rental route, maybe the way to go. But at midnight, that's not a doable thing. So that's kind of more like probably through contacts.
It could be, or early evening.
Yeah, early evening too. Yeah, okay. So we'll leave that for for tonight then.
So on the docket, you guys have the identities of several cultivar members.
Yeah, I'm looking through that now.
Yeah, you have the yacht club still being a thing that you guys have not gone
With
back
Narissa.
to. Yeah, Narissa,
Right,
Blackwater.
We still haven't gotten a lot on Shalim, the cult of Shalim.
No, you have not. Now, well, actually, Preston got some information on that when he was out at the Succubus Club from the other Toreador, who told him that they're mostly hanging out in the southwest side of town. It's particularly in the bad neighborhoods.
And you also have a lead on, because you have a gangrel contact potentially for the American Indigenous Center of Chicago with the missing janitors, who could be linked to a gangrel.
Yeah.
Well, that was because Trina. That's our contact here, right? If my notes are telling me what I think they are, I have Trina Velasco listed as our gangrel contact of ours.
Trina. Oh, yeah. So that's the Bahari in the city. That's your contact with the Bahari. She's a country gangrel. She abandoned the Sabbat when they went to the Middle East. So she knows Ryan.
All right. Well, let's. I don't know. I think I want to go and see if we can learn something about the cult of Shalim. I don't know how to do that other than just to go to that area of town and just.
Hey, my car already looks like
check
shit.
it out.
Well, there are some options before you. Sun mentioned there was Elysium tonight, and he was down by the Art Institute. So it could be there that they're having Elysium. You could probably hit up the Succubus Club again if you want to see if anybody's there that might know more about this cult. Because remember, when you guys talk to the Toreador, or when you talk to Toreador, what's his name? Dr. Benway, his master, Dr. Benway. But when we talked to James Royston, he mentioned that he knew that they were hanging out there. He didn't know much about them, which means that there's probably been some rumors circulating around court about them. It just depends on how far you want to dig into that. Alternatively, you can make a deal with the devil and call Dr. the one you don't want to. You can call Dr. Tosh.
Dr. Netchurch?
No, Dr. Tosh, and deal with Tracy, the Tremere.
We don't want to do that right now.
I'm already a minor bone in the hole there.
Yeah, but it's only a minor. And you can explore his idea of cults, and you might, or another minor, who knows? But it's still only 2 minors. It's not like you're major or blood booning in this shit.
Let's swing by the Art Institute and see if that's where Elysium is, because I've been getting shit about not going to court, and I said I would. So we should go, but you're gonna just get ready because.
I know. I'm gonna have to go stand in the corner and pretend I'm not there.
Okay.
I'll be lucky if I'll be in past the lobby.
Yeah, it'll be good. It'll be good to be seen there since it's not a thing that we've done. And maybe we'll see what the buzz is and get some information. We'll carouse.
So you guys are heading.
That's where we'll go.
Back towards the Art Institute.
Yep.
All right. And that concludes episode 8. They're getting ready to head towards Elysium at the Art Institute, or at least that's where they hope it is. And fresh out of another meeting with Jason Newberry, they just can't seem to get away from that Malkavian. Let's see where they go with this next episode.